Good morning from Oklahoma. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Bear Wolf wanted to kind of come on here and give everybody a shout out. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday morning. I'll tell you what, it's been pretty hot around here last week or two, and we've had a couple little showers and stuff. This morning it come pretty good little rain and kind of cool things off. Pretty nice out here right now. But I thought I'd kind of jump on here and maybe tell you another little venture trip that me and my family had one time up on Spring River, up in the northeast corner of Arkansas, when we used to live up that way. But before I get started, do a little housekeeping. I'm smoking a little bulldog with some Prince Albert in it. And it smokes that Prince Albert pretty good in this little bulldog. Now, I might have told the story once before. I can't remember if I had or not. But if I had, well, you'll get a second go-round of it. But the thing of it was, one weekend, me and my wife, we decided we go up on Spring River, which is up around by Hardy, Arkansas, and do a little float trip up there. Float down Spring River and just make a good day of it. Now, our son was about, I think he was about 6, maybe 7 years old. And now he couldn't swim any. Of course, my wife can't swim neither. So we get up there and we get in a canoe and everything, and I make sure they got a life jacket on in case something did happen. Wouldn't have to worry about them too much. But we was planning on just making a good day of it and finding a place we could pull over to one side about midday and have kind of a little lunch and kind of just really enjoy the outdoor scenery and everything. So now Spring River is got some pretty good little rapids on it and a few waterfalls and stuff, and it's kind of a fun trip for a family to go down without being too bad. Well, I decided I'd do a little trout fishing since they stock that river with trout. So I carried my fly rod with me and everything, and ice chest with some cold drinks in it and stuff to make a lunch with. So we get up there and we get everything loaded up in the canoe, and we start floating down. So I take my fly rod, I go to doing a little fly fishing. And I caught a couple of pretty good sized little old trout. And we're really having a good time. Hit a few little rapids, not too bad. And so we decided we just go ahead and pull over to the bank and get out and start a little fire. I'd get them trouts cleaned up, get them cooked up and everything. We'd just sit there and kind of enjoy everything. So that's what we do. Well, we get ready to leave after a good lunch, and I'm not going to fly fish anymore. So I take my fly rod, I tie it to the side of the canoe. In case we did turn over, I wouldn't lose it or anything. And so we got that tied on, got everything loaded up in the canoe. And we took off on down the river. Well, we come to this one pretty good sized little fall, and which I'm pretty good with a canoe. I can pretty well read the water real good and know about how to hit some of them rapids and some of the falls and stuff. So I get her pointed in the right direction. Well, that boy of mine, he gets it in his head, well, it'd be really fun for us to turn over. So I tell them, I said, now y'all kind of stay in the middle of the canoe there. Try not to move around too much while I try to maneuver this canoe down. Well, just as we started over it, my son decides he's going to stand up. But when he did, we flipped over. And so knowing that him or my wife, either one could swim, my main concern was get him and her over next to the bank and everything. But she makes it to the bank, and it's kind of shallow along in one area over there. She got where she could stand up. Well, I've got him, and I'm trying to get him over to her, and so I get him over close to her, and then I just reach over and pitch him to her. I said, here. I said, take him. I said, I got to go. She says, you got to go? I said, yeah, I got to go. She says, well, where are you going? I said, I'm going wherever this canoe's going. She says, why? I said, because I got a hook in my rear end. And I'm trying to keep up with this canoe. But luckily, little long ways down the river there was a tree that had fell, and it was laying half on the bank and half in the water. Well, that's where the canoe went. It went up, got hung up next to that tree. Boy, was I glad to see it. Because I tell you what, I'm a pretty good swimmer, but I think that's about as fast as I've ever swum in my life, is trying to keep up with that canoe. Because every time I'd get a little bit tired, kind of slow down a little bit, that hook would dig in a little bit deeper, so I'd have to speed it up again. So I finally made my way up to that canoe and got over to where I knew where I had a knife at one of the bundles that we had tied to the canoe, got it out, cut that line, and so I was able to get the canoe and everything back, and get it set back up, and had them walk down there to where the canoe was at. But I tell you what, it was kind of funny sitting there on the side of the bank with my pants hanging about halfway down while your wife tries to cut a hook out of your rear end. Yeah, that was a sight to see for everybody that kind of floated down the river. But I tell you what, that was one of the trips I never will forget. And thought maybe y'all kind of like that little story. But yeah, we used to have a lot of good times on that old river up there at Hardy, Arkansas. And no Cliff, Pipe Ninja, he'll know exactly where I'm talking about, because, like I said, me and him, we're from the same area. I used to live not too far from Cliff. Yeah, but I didn't know Cliff at that time. But I didn't get to know Cliff until we moved here in Oklahoma. I started on the doing these videos for the YPC, and that's when we really got to knowing each other and found out, shoot, all these years we practically lived right on top of each other. But yeah, but that's a little story I wanted to get on here, kind of give everybody a chuckle at. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, give me a thumbs up and a like. That'll help my channel get it boosted back up. And if you haven't subscribed to me, please do so. I appreciate it. I try to answer to most of the people that sends me texts and stuff. If if I can. And but I also want to get on here and talk about old uh, Recovery Know-It-All. Uh, he comes on a Sunday morning, and he's having to change his time schedule up a little bit so it'd be easier on everybody to join in. And he'll be coming on here at 8 Central on a Sunday morning. And so if you got nothing to do that Sunday morning before you head out to church or something, jump over and give us all a holler at a couple of us guys. We get on there and kind of talk a little bit. We talk about who needs to be some prayers sent up to, and who's in the hospital, and who's not doing real well, or who's doing real good. And we just a few of us guys that's on there right now, so feel free to come on and give us a holler at. We'd love to see you come on and give us a shout out. Well, I sit here and slap my gum so much, can't keep this pipe lit. Of course, everybody knows when you do these videos and you're trying to smoke a pipe, that's impossible to do, is keep the pipe lit. Unless you just hotbox that sucker. And I'm not for one to hotbox a pipe. But like I say, I hope you really enjoyed this little old story. And please do subscribe to me and give me a thumbs up. And so I hope y'all have a good weekend that's going to be here, and be safe, and take care of one another. And so God bless each and every one of you. Wado, and we'll catch you down the road.